when you're just kind of starting out, you don't have to take the whole package. You can study and yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot of I attended some Christian church, what is Episcopal, I guess, early on, and I don't really remember too much about it other than being in a dark building on a Saturday when I wanted to be out playing outside and but certainly, that I think what you're expressing is a common um concern, about the hell realms and um there are certain things I kind of take on faith, and it's um one thing I know that may be helpful is the difference between the hell realms and what kind of I've heard in sort of mainstream Christianity is, bad people go to the hell realms. Well, in Buddhism, there's no bad people. We're all
Yeah.
we all have Buddha nature, which is this innate purity, which is temporarily obscured by afflictions of ignorance, anger, desire, jealousy, attachment, pride, and so forth. And and these afflictions cause us to engage in habitual actions, creating karma. And if we commit some really serious negative actions, the basic law of karma, which uh, is kind of in alignment with modern physics, is that causes are commensurate with the results, or I should say, results are commensurate with the causes. And so if you create harm and suffering, it's kind of natural that that will come back to you. Some of the literal descriptions of hell realms, I don't quite know what to make of them, but um, it's a it makes me think about my actions and recognizing, oh yeah, karma is a really basic principle of Buddhism. It's important to recognize that what we do matters, and we are the agents of either our own suffering or our own happiness, and but we can purify karma and change our habits, but
Yeah.
it takes time, and we have to be gentle with ourselves and patient because these are the other aspect of Buddhism, which many people find challenging, is the whole concept of continuum of the mind through multiple incarnations. We've had beginningless lifetimes in the past. The mind, the body disintegrates at death, but the mind um, is formless. And if you trace back your mind to the moment of your birth, and then you go back into the womb, and it's like, well, what was the cause for the first moment of mind in the fetus or in the zygote or whatever that sort of double-celled organism is called. The cause of one mind moment is a previous mind moment, basically. And so where does that previous mind moment come from? The first moment of this life. Well, in Buddhist philosophy, it's posited that comes from the mind of the being that was in the intermediate state after it died from its previous life, whether it was a human being or an animal or in some other realm. And where was I going with this? The continuum of the mind and oh, right, karma. So So anyways, we have this beginningless mind, and we've had infinite rebirths, and we've created mountains of positive karma, but also mountains of negative karma. And so all these habits are deposited in our mental continuum, deposited. That sounds like a form, but it's actually um, it's kind of like a subtle energy, is what they say. I mean, this gets into very sort of somewhat esoteric Buddhist philosophy, but there's lots of things that modern science doesn't understand, and the mind is one of them. And so I've studied Buddhism and a lot of this deep philosophy for over half my life now, 30 plus years, and it just makes a lot of sense to me naturally. Um, and but getting back to the point is, we have these really deeply rooted habit patterns that take time to overcome, and we can purify them one by one using antidotes, like when we recognize anger coming up, we can think about, oh, the disadvantages of anger. Well, that's going to ruin my blood pressure, and I'm likely to say things that I regret and create a lot of problems, and of course create a lot of negative karma. But the ultimate antidote to purifying our karma is meditation on the nature of reality, which you mentioned non-dual awareness, and that's where we begin to really purify our karma and um, open the door to our full potential as um, awakened beings. So, yeah, be gentle with yourself when you see the negative karma, just ripening and the old habit patterns. You notice that, and try not to let it carry you down into a hole, or you obviously try to cut off whatever negative actions are arising with whatever way, whatever antidotes you can bring in the moment. But meditation practice is the ultimate antidote. So, and the Lam Rim lays out this beautiful path of how to keep moving forward.
Well, and here's a question. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a huge section in the beginning of the Lamrim, which is all devotion to a guru. But if you don't have a guru,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how to practice that part of Lamrim.
So a couple things in response to that. I mean, in the end, so there's the external guru and there's the internal guru. And it's important to have a teacher, and uh, but initially take your time, like so there's different ideas about guru, in the West, um, I think there's a lot of misinformation about guru as like this sort of um, kind of higher power uh, father or mother figure that's kind of tells us what to do, and has all the answers for us, and we're supposed to give them complete unquestioning devotion, which is really dangerous. You know, because there's a lot of chicanery and trickery in today's world, and many false gurus who will, um, put on some brocaded cloth and use their charisma to mislead people and use them for their own purposes of self-aggrandizement. So, I mean, it's said in the Lamrim teachings that traditionally you take 12 years to decide, who your teacher is, but in the meantime, you can still learn from people. You don't have to like call them your guru. I mean, everybody can be a teacher, and you can study from them. And before I forget, I don't know if you got the newsletter, but Yangtze Rinpoche is going to be coming to Seattle on March 16th, and I'll be hosting him at my house. So I've been studying with Yangtze Rinpoche for 24 years now, and I consider him a really qualified teacher. But of course, that's a personal decision everybody has to make for themselves. So the guru, is really only comes into play in a really powerful way when you have studied for a long time and you take tantric initiations to do visualizations with what's called deity yoga, and you and it's based on a lot of faith and trust in the teacher. And so you're basically working with your own subtle energies to help you realize emptiness, but also uniting that with the bodhicitta, the altruistic intention, this real strong wish to become fully enlightened in order to be of highest benefit to others.
Yeah, so I really find that quite beautiful.
It's interesting. I mean, so yesterday I had a really nice conversation with a Buddhist nun here at a temple for about an hour, and here in Taiwan, at this particular temple, they've the Master Chongyin, it's the Suchi. All the emphasis is on awakening this bodhicitta, and at least that I can see so far. I need to. I'm curious because we need both. We need the bodhicitta, but we also need the wisdom. These two together are that's the essence of the Mahayana practice as outlined in the Lamrim, and that's what enables us to completely purify all the subtle imprints in the mind that prevent us from becoming an omniscient being, which sounds kind of wild and fantastic, but that's to differentiate it from the sort of the lower scope teaching of simply wanting to attain one's own liberation, personal freedom, without so much concern for other beings. That's, I mean, of course, you have love and compassion as an arhat, a liberated being, but it's greatly enhanced when you have this bodhicitta. So, anyways, when I was talking to this nun yesterday, I realized in the West, sometimes there's kind of like this tendency to always go for what we think is the best. We want the cherry on top of the cake, and which the wisdom teachings come last in the Lam Rim, and over the years I've seen in many centers, there's, or maybe it's just a subtle undercurrent I see in my own mind too, that it's like, okay, I really want to understand emptiness, and then I can be completely free. And it's like, oh yeah, there's that bodhicitta too. I need to work on that, and be a kinder person. And yeah, I'm quite fortunate. My wife is a really diligent practitioner, and I consider her a bodhisattva because she's just always thinking about how to help other people. And so anyways, these are the two wings of the path. We need both of them. So once again, just regenerate your motivation for practice, remembering that everybody wants to be happy, nobody wants to be suffer, nobody wants to suffer. So we're all exactly the same in this way. And this world is completely interconnected. All of our happiness depends upon the kindness of others. Every happiness we've enjoyed in this life came about through the kindness of others. It's our health, our minds, our education, our food, clothing, and shelter. All these beings in our past lives, we've been related to them in countless ways. We've all been our mothers, infinite lifetimes, showered unbelievable kindness of a mother for a child on us, being and reflecting upon how all these beings, just like us, uh, under the influence of karma and afflictions, always searching for happiness, never fully content. Recognizing our own potential to fully wake up and become a guide for all these beings. And seeing that as the answer to our own ultimate happiness is devoting ourselves to others. We make this firm determination to fully awaken, to study all the stages of the Lam Ren path, and achieve all the realizations that will help us bring about our own enlightenment, and then be able to teach that to others. Just feeling your breath in your body, noticing the rise and fall of your breath. But alert posture with your shoulders relaxed, your spine straight, allowing the energy to flow through your body. Just using the breath as an anchor for awareness, letting go of thoughts, as just noticing the thought without chasing after it, bringing the attention back to the breath. Gradually calming and quieting the mind. As the mind grows quiet and calm, we begin to observe nature of the breath, the nature of consciousness, which moment arouses and passes away. Basic inherent solidity to the breath or the mind. Meditating, the mind that's dependent upon causes and parts, seeds of a self, a person. Staying your mind in this beautiful, so dependent nature with an ultimate lack of inherent existence. let me just recite a quick dedication prayer because it's always important to dedicate the merit of any positive actions so that it ripens in the best way possible towards full enlightenment. Due to this merit, may we soon attain the awakened state of Guru Buddha, that we may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhi mind not yet long arise in bloom. May that bond have no decline, but increase forevermore.